Hey everyone, Pete here with another episode of Slay the Spire. Uh, Last time we played through our first Ascension with the Silent, and now we're going to go on to Defect. Like before, we spawn more often, and we get from pretty good whale bonuses. So, liking this right hand side, I have the option between taking on Elite, Super Elite, and another Elite, or just taking a couple campfires along with an Elite. I have a few more variety of options on the left side, but the main thing I'm thinking through is taking the boss relic with the defect. Generally a better idea, just because the crack core, it's nice to have, but there's some better things out there. So if I get a good enough relic, it means I can easily take this route. If not, I can always take this route and just upgrade my cards and have a pretty strong upgraded deck just by going this path. Right, so off each. So means we need to make sure we don't take too much damage, but as long as we can get through that, should be just fine. Start. Weeping Being, always good to have, especially early on. Okay. I don't think I need the energy right now. This is generally good to have, but don't think I need it. Ollie Smooth Stone, some extra defense really early on could be good. Loop isn't as good just because we only have one orb that we can put into play, and we don't automatically start with one anymore. No guaranteed store for acts. I think I'll just take the extra dexterity. Okay. Law early on can be interesting. Don't think we need reboot. Don't need beam saw. I might take claw just to have some extra damage and just see if I can get through this path. It's starting to not look as good. This makes it a little bit harder. So, using potions, and I think I'll take the chaos as well. So, now I need to decide if I think I can get through this or not. Didn't get as much in my deck as I had hoped, so I honestly don't think I could make it through this path and through the rest of the act without basically dying. So I'm gonna take the safer route and spend more time just upgrading the deck. Yeah, after that, I'm very confident that we would just die going up this path, so makes me feel a little bit better in choosing that. Alright. I don't think we can consume this early. And it... Can definitely get away with a skim. Making it hard this time around. Now we're starting to get there a little. Okay. So while we got the Gremlin Knob out of the way, can this deck survive against Lagavulin and Sentries? I think we can do okay with Sentries. Sentries would be okay. The questions, can we get through Lagavulin and live enough to take on Slime Boss? I'll give it a try. So, just a wee bit harder of the two. Decent start. So far, taking 1 damage. So it looks like we're going to be able to get away with this without taking too much. Yep, anchor to help us sustain a bit more. Alright, so we have extra energy. That Tempest is interesting. We don't have sustain, so when static discharge would normally be pretty good, it's not so good here until we have a way we can actually gain some health back. Multicast would be good if we had some like darkness orbs. And we have chaos. And we have extra energy. Right now I'm gonna give Tempest a try. Card I haven't given many chances. So sounds like a good opportunity right now. Skip there. Let's see. So here, gonna have to go very quick with this fight. Gotta try and split Flying Bus as early as possible because we want to try and avoid this right here. But at the same time, we need to do it in a way that isn't going to kill us later on in the fight. So we have 21. 21 would not be enough. Gotta take it out. So far, I think for the most part, we're just getting very lucky. Both because of the lack of attacks and we're getting decent card draws. But made it through Act 1 without dying. Bit of a surprise, actually. So, going a bit on the heavier side with lightning synergies, so Thunder Strike looks appealing. Not sure if I actually want it. Just doesn't always seem like a great card, and it only really picks up if you're channeling a lot of Pendant Orbs. So would need to probably find a way to channel even more than we're doing with Tempest plus the Sap, and every so often with the Chaos. So, I mean, I'm giving things a try this time, so let's see where this goes. Okay. So, I think we're good on energy for the moment. And I don't want to lose their intent, so this one's out. Flavor color could be good. I think we need more draw anyway. So I think I'm just going to get rid of a few strikes and upgrade them with Astrolabe. Alright, so our deck just got very defensive. Boot sequence, reinforced body, and equilibrium. So some of our draw is solved. We're losing a card out. We're losing a couple cards out of our deck throughout the whole thing. And then we have some extra block. So it seems overall an improvement, but the deck is very passive now, which means right now it would have to rely very heavily on the orbs to get us through each fight. So need to be a little bit more careful with the elites. This way might be good. Then, well, that's committing to 3. I think I'm gonna go this way. Then there, either go this way or this way, depending on how I'm feeling at that point. And then after this would tell me if I can survive this way. Let's go with that. This particular fight looks like they comboed pretty well together. So let's hope that they can keep up the rest of the run. So, 2 claws, might leave it at that. Good first turn. Okay. Plus, not plus 7. I think 2's enough. And I think I have enough block that auto shields is redundant, and I currently don't want to be shuffling burns into my deck. Don't want to be shuffling those in. Alright. So a couple shops along the way. I think I'd much rather take the money this time. Don't want to be taking damage unless I absolutely need to do it now. Snake plant right now scares me, so I'm gonna just avoid anything that's gonna prevent me from being able to completely block. scares me enough that I'm going to add that. Now that we have claws in the deck, Reboot looks a lot more appealing just because of how they increment. So drawing them more often is good. So, more options to cycle through the deck. So, interesting choice here. Dilute the deck with 5 bites, but have a way to gain health back all of a sudden. Or keep the defensive deck, just keep the strike down and keep it less dilute. That's a toughie. I think if these were upgraded, I would take them without thinking about it. I think I can make it through just fine right now without sustain. Okay, so let's hit a little bit harder. And honestly, I'm upgrading things sometimes I normally would not, just because I have a lot of things to upgrade at this point. And I don't have anything I can spend on healing. I'll take a do-over. Do-over's not going too well. Right, so now we turned on Storm Lightning. Sorry, Thunder Strike. Oh. Alright, now we're starting to get there. Instantly upgrade the cool-headed. This helps a lot. Now that takes care of one of the bigger concerns I've been having, which is how do we make sure we have enough health before the boss. Right. Definitely a scary fight. Bias cognition. This looks good, especially with lots of orb heavy stuff. And after that fight, I'm gonna give this. Okay. Ball lightning, chill, capacitor. Kunai. And I think good question. Sure. And a quick fight. Second skim? Yeah, why not? And that should take care of all the draw when you rest of the another reinforced body, another good block card. Alright. Second chilled might. Well, Storm is interesting, but we only have 2 powers. Not as chilled. Alright. I think I like the extra. On to the collector. Can I get through this fight in about 5 turns? Let's give it a try. Now, need to start prioritizing a lot more attack over defense. So every so often I might take a little bit of damage. That's alright. Obviously need to get through this fight very quickly. Okay. Second highest cog. Yeah. Basically turn this into a really, really fast-paced deck. So now I need to start going for E. Right, so as long as we go any of the, basically we can go any path we want. Okay. So this left side has more fireplaces, which is good. Also a little bit more. So no matter what, we can go this way. Going to reassess at this point to see if we want to go to the second elite or we want to dip over to this way. Okay. Start here. Okay, so at this point, I know I'm going to get through this fight very easily and without a lot of focus. Basically, they'll die off before we run out of focus. No matter what. A lot of damage. Hold this food. Equilibrium, like a second. Okay. Right. So, consume looks a lot more appealing now that it's capacitor to counteract it a little bit. More focus is good because we're going to get a lot of focus through bias cognition, and we want to counteract it a little bit. Okay. So, Mind Bloom this early. Don't think I'm going to be taking upgrade all cards here. Don't think I can get through all this and the heart even at full health. Basically means that there'd be absolutely no more healing whatsoever for the rest of the game. Don't see any shops, so, and because this deck is very draw heavy and very energy heavy, so it plays a lot of cards, so normality is a very, very bad choice here. So the only one that's really left is to take the play. Go through this fight really fast. Really fast. Calipers. Now this is good to have with this much block and a very frost or heavy. Okay. Drag the overall card. Okay, again minimizing damage. And what do you know? We can upgrade our deck anyway. Take that. See if we can make this a quick fight as well. Alright, so the unfortunate thing with Bias Cog is instead of losing 1 focus per turn, now I'll be losing 2 after I stack them up like that. But it looks like it's not going to matter that much. Okay. Not seeing a lot of cards that I like. Alright, we'll just try that again. Try one more time. Not a lot of great draw, but so far I've been able to hold it together pretty well. Very defensive for sure, so I think at least for the rest of this fight should be able to be just fine. Alright, little late for shovel. Buffer. Buffer would be good for early on if we don't have enough block going. I think it's too much at this point. I think at this point more clogs it up a little. Gonna make Apotheosis a little bit more accessible. Alright, so we should be good on block for the rest of the fight. I'm gonna make it a little bit easier. Right, so I think we're good on chilled. Cool-headed though looks good. At this point, I'm gonna duck over. All right, definitely could be a much worse curse to grab than decay, especially with how much block we're getting. At this point, I think I'm gonna take the recall, and depending on how I do on the elites will tell me whether or not I can dig here or if I need to focus more on upgraded life. Alright. Pretty good start. Oh, more of a defensive start more than anything else. So our Thunder Strike should be looking very good at this point. Does 72 each time. One less block. Okay. And I'm just gonna keep on taking cool-headed. Lots of draw, lots of defense, all looks good. Turn attack. Front every time. Not claws, maybe. No, I think this is skip. That's okay, so having a very defensive deck here will help out quite a bit. Even more so if attacks. No matter what, whether it's attacks or defense, I think we're pretty good here. As long as we can actually get some. And that's good enough. This time around. That's interesting. It's better to have focus, better to have initial block. Focus. So we're back here again, just with a stronger deck. Alright. Gold coin. It's only going to be useful in the next once we can get there. I think another ball line just fine. And no point in focusing too heavy on upgrading because we have Apotheosis. So instead, let's try and get an extra. That one. Pretty good one. All right. Okay, so right now just focusing more on just making sure defenses are up while just trying to get through the deck to the meat of it, get to what's important, get to setting up properly. Take a little bit of damage early on, but that's okay. Get more of the attacks going. So, damage. Let's turn on the Thunder Strike now. Take a little bit of damage, but accelerate this fight a lot. So, how likely is it? Don't think it matters that much. But, got lucky. I'll take it. Alright, so now we can just turn Bias Cog and go from there. Okay. We will avoid attacks for a little while. Try to use it either on Thunder Strike or ideally don't use any for the rest of the fight. Although it looks like that's not gonna happen. So, looks like Thunder Strike ended up being a very decent pick for this one. particular run, and make it. Hopefully, it's gonna turn the card fight into a very easy. So gonna dig again. Horncleat, very good. We are 2/3 of a boat here. Just missing Captain's Wheel, and otherwise we would have been really, really good. Alright, so Mummified Hand stands out as nice. Probably don't need Blood Vial for a total of 4 HP. Not sure if it's worth it. But let's see. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. So the energy gain here is good. Not a lot of other things that we'd probably spend all that on. I'm gonna take the block potion. Enlightened, when it's upgraded, is really good if you can get some of the higher cost cards into hand at the same time and lower its cost for the rest of the combat. Makes it a lot easier to play. The use case for it, though, past this one card, really small. The only other thing I'd really hit is Consume. Not sure if it's really worth adding a card just to reduce the cost of one card, and this is actually in the deck for the rest of the game too, or the rest of the combat. Let's get a great view and just replace it. I'm taking defrag, and I think that's it. Maybe an FTL. No, FTL. Okay. So this is gonna be a tough one. I'll let that one go around again. That made it easier. Alright, let's do this. Good start. Place a defensive start. Probably should have played that. Alright. So 20. Let's try and as possible. Great, so I think through the scary part. Or so I'm just going to stop block so that we can get through the next couple turns. At this point, main thing I'm now looking for is Thunder Strike to end this. Okay. Could be able to just focus on defending. And it should be done in the next 1 or 2 turns. Okay, so 17 times 13, 30 times over 200. So at about And that is Thunder Strike carrying through the whole run. Great. So that's Ascension 1 with a defect. Another successful run. And probably the most epic ending, seeing the defect shooting its hyper beam through the heart. Okay. One more unlock. And Sunder and Meteor Strike. A Meteor Strike is always a very interesting card to have. And then Turbo, very niche card. And on to the next one. Alright, so that about does it for this one. If you liked this content, be sure to subscribe and like, and I'll talk to you next time.